Good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Brunch with the Fellas, bringing you the latest trending topic news and entertainment. And before we do that, make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so when we go live, you never miss an episode of Brunch with the Fellas. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always just getting it right with just
But just
entertainment.
entertainment.
And we are the Brunch
Touch
Fellas.
with the fellas. Yeah,
Peace,
man. That's a,
family. Peace, family. What's the Deezy, man? What's the Deezy on the streezy?
well, last Thursday, Chris Brown got arrested, and we do have a video on that we're going to pull
Salute.
up. But in the meantime, before you pull this video up, this is stemming from a arrest, or at least a assault charge from 2023 in the UK by Chris Brown. But later news has developed. Chris Brown has been released on bail, and he will be partaking in his world tour, or at least kicking it off. If I'm not mistaken, the bail was like $5 or $6 million. Bail, yeah,
His bond was 5 or 6 million.
5 or 6 mil, yeah, 5 to 6 mil.
And you said it's stemming from
Crazy.
a case he had back. It was an
Yeah,
old case.
there's an old case, an assault charge back in 2023. So obviously, since he lives in the United States, they had no way of extraditing him back to, bring him up on the charges. But he decided to go back to the UK, and I don't know if he had amnesia or forgot, but they sure did get him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a weird one. You know what I mean? He about to kick off a tour, go. I don't know if he forgot. He was smoking too much weed. His freaking management team didn't, hey, do you remember you got an assault charge there? If we go there, they're gonna try to get you. I don't understand that, but let's take a look at this video, if you would, Pearl, and bring up at least some preliminary or at least initial footage from his arrest from last Thursday, if you will.
For sure. I can't even believe what that is. This wow. This is wild right here. Let's see what we got.
And Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown is facing serious legal trouble overseas. A UK judge just ordered the 36-year-old to stay in British custody on a charge of causing grievous bodily harm. He's accused of attacking a music producer in a London nightclub. Let's bring in ABC's Lama Hassan in London for more. Lama, what's the latest on these charges against Chris Brown?
Yeah, hey, Diane. What we know is that Chris Brown was arrested in the early hours of Thursday morning at his hotel in Manchester in northern England. The Metropolitan Police released a statement late last night saying that after an investigation by detectives, they're charging him with, as you said, grievous bodily harm with intent. Now, this charge relates to an alleged assault that dates back to February 2023 after he allegedly attacked a music producer with a bottle at a nightclub in London. It was described as an unprovoked attack in which the producer was struck several times with a bottle. Brown then allegedly pursued him to another area of the nightclub where the victim was punched and kicked repeatedly. Now, in the hearing today, which lasted about 30 minutes, bail was denied, the judge saying that the offense is a serious one, and she reportedly deemed him a flight risk, even though his lawyer tried to argue that he's a public figure and he's followed by photographers. And so essentially, his every move would be well documented. Now, in terms of what happens next, the judge ordered him to appear at Southwark Crown Court here in London on June 13th, which means that he remains in custody until then. And just a reminder, Diane, that Brown was meant to be kicking off his tour on June 8th. Diane?
All right, Lama Hassan, thank you.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay, so you said that he is out now. They let him out.
Released on 6.7 million bail
Man,
today.
let's see if we
Today.
could. Let's see if
Yep.
we could. See if we could find something to talk about that. He was released. Let's see, Chris Brown. Released. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. See what we got here.
Run through and recap of the week's buzziest stories in entertainment and pop culture. And of course, we have our ABC News contributor, Roxy Diaz, here with us to talk
Roxy
more about that because
Diaz.
you are the expert.
With the
What are you
scoop.
watching? Well, I think a lot of people
What's the
are
vibe?
watching very closely what's going on with Chris Brown. London court says you can be out on bail, heavy bail, right? $6.7 million, but still.
No, but he's out. He was able to get his bail today. And his first post said, "From the cage to the stage,"
Oh
which
my.
means the tour is still on. And yes, a lot of people
Oh.
are paying attention to this because these are sold out shows that we're talking about. So there's a lot of money on the line. Me knowing CB the way I do, I'm going to say his spirits are up with just that post.
Sure.
But we know that this all stems from an incident that happened in a nightclub in London in 2023, where he allegedly fought a music producer by hitting him over the head with a bottle. So
Yeah.
a lot still to happen there, but at least he gets to continue his world tour.
Right. It sounds like his sights are set on that immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, that's really all they had with that going on, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we ain't even get on that story. But we not. Yeah. So he's free now. He's free now. But I guess
Scheduled. He got to return to court June 13th.
June 13th.
Yep.
Well, you know.
And he remained in custody. He would have missed his first 2 nights of his upcoming European tour.
So he's not
starts-
missing it. He's not missing the show. I knew they was gonna get that together.
Hell yeah.
You know, that's too much money he missing.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is he'll come back, he'll pay some money, and it'll be done.
Yeah. Well, I guess that American producer who's 38 performs under the name Hoodie Baby is a friend of Chris Brown's, but he was also charged in the assault. So neither Brown nor this Akinlolu or this Hoodie Baby producer have entered a plea yet. Both men were ordered to appear in court again June 20. Yeah. So
The Hoodie Baby is the guy who got hit upside the head with the bottles and all that, who got
Correct.
booked out.
yeah.
Okay.
His I guess Chris Brown's first tour kickoff is June 8th in Amsterdam before starting North America shows in July. So yeah, he's on the gridiron, but
Yeah, he's not gonna test.
just saying, you know, no. Well, hold up, my bad. I'll take it back. Brown was initially scheduled to return to court June 13th if he remained in custody. He would have missed his first 2 nights of the upcoming European tour. Brown, 36, is accused of an unprovoked attack on a producer named Abe Dial at a bar in the Tape nightclub in the swanky Mayfair neighborhood in London in February 2023 while he was on his last tour. So prosecutor, I guess, said last week in Manchester, the magistrate, that Brown struck I've got a Dial. I'm saying it's Diaw several times with a bottle, then punched and kicked him at the attack, caught on a surveillance camera in front of a club full of people. And I guess an American musician, Amalolu, who was 38, is a friend of Brown's, is also charged because he says 2 people was in the assault. It was Chris Brown and this musician, both was in the attack. Both of them
So they
being charged.
both okay. So he had a co-defendant.
Yep. Both men were ordered to appear in court. Yep. Yep.
But he ain't get picked
Both
up
of these
in
guys
UK.
are
He didn't get picked up. He wasn't with Chris on
Nope.
this tour. Okay.
nope.
So I mean,
Yep.
that was wise, if they planned that, because they knew if they picked him up, they probably would keep him and let Chris go because he the star. But if Chris
Mhm.
go, then they gonna let him go because they know this will, yeah. So the producer probably not gonna press no charges for real. I mean, I will pay him.
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
mean,
shit. What I'm saying? I
I
would
don't
pay
know,
him
man.
not to take the charges. It's just like, is that illegal? I mean, I don't know. So
Mhm.
I don't know. After the shit that happened with Diddy, like he paid 30 mil and then she still up. But I understand civil case and criminal, two different things. So paying somebody to not press charges in a criminal case, that might be, is that against the law?
Right.
Need to ask, an esquire. I don't
Mhm.
know. Because I know people get paid in civil cases all the damn time.
Man, they did that probably a publicity stunt since he's going on tour. Let's get him when he comes over here.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know,
it's
bro.
it's it
Like
kind
if
of
he was on
sounds.
the run all that time and then they put a $6 million bond on his head, they was like, you gonna pay to get up out of here. Is it
Yeah,
10%
but it's like a novelty
like
in
it is over
London.
here?
You got top shit in London. This is funny, dude. Like this nigga, like this motherfucker is Jack the Ripper or something. You know what I mean? We caught him.
But I'm saying you gotta think they don't carry guns over there. I mean, even though people do get shot, but like, he went upside somebody's head with a bottle. Like it sounded like he whooped him out pretty bad,
Yeah,
you
he
know.
whooped him up.
So if that's what happened, then that's a pretty violent attack, man. Like, a bottle, man, you would kill somebody with a bottle. I ain't trying to hype up C.Breezy situation, but you could kill somebody with a bottle.
Yeah, I mean, is it considered deadly weapon over there? You know what I mean?
So, you know, he's able to go on tour. He should be
Mhm.
thankful for that. So whatever he
Mhm.
needs to do to work the situation out, man, he need to go ahead and fix that. Cause that ain't cool. And yeah, like you said, it is like some publicity hype or whatever, but I mean,
It's in conjunction to him going on tour. Come on now,
yeah, I mean,
got him.
it's kind of convenient because he could have went there last.
Yeah, he could have saved that for last.
He could have went there last, just in case I
Why
get
he go
locked
all the way
up.
over here? He
Right?
probably got more US
Let me go get
US
all this
tours.
money everywhere else first, and
Mhm.
then you know. But to kick it off, yeah. So
Well,
somebody said, no, go get locked up first, then go on tour because that'll hype it all the way up. I'm like, the ship was probably already sold out anyway.
mhm. It'll make people all his fans more appreciative if they get to see him. We're like, he's ain't in jail. I bet you all them girls' hearts jumped out their chest when they thought he got arrested. They were like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
All them girls' hearts jumped out their chest and wanted that they paid all that money. Yeah, he almost ended up like Michael Jackson. This is it, because all them people paid all that money for that. This is it, and that didn't go down.
Yeah, but Mike died though. That wasn't the
Hey, I
same.
heard some people didn't even want a refund on that ticket.
No, I wouldn't have wanted a refund.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would have wanted. Now I would have been mad that I ain't getting no memorabilia from the show to actually put with the ticket,
Right?
you know.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
no merch, no something, a calendar, something, anything, a little picture, something, a little, one of those 1,000
Hey, he was
autographs.
playing that. I wonder how much that ticket that people have from the "This Is It" Michael Jackson thing. How much that's worth?
I mean, it's only worth as much as somebody willing to pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Because
it
the
ain't like
tour
it's
didn't
something
happen.
from Never Never.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
and even that stuff, the stuff from Never Neverland, it's like it's like art, right? Like it's
Yeah.
almost like an artifact, right? So
Yeah.
it's only really what somebody willing to pay for it,
That's true.
like Michael Jackson's glove.
Oh,
I mean, that's some shit to have, right? The glove with the
yeah.
glitter, the hee hee, and all that shit. The
I
Thriller.
think they got that at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. They got
What's
one
that? The
over
Beat
there.
It, all that, man.
Freaking
Like
now,
the
Billie
Thriller,
Jean.
Billie Jean, the Thriller jacket, shit like
I
that.
don't know where the hell that thing is at. Or
That's probably in the
that
Rock
M
and Roll
jacket,
Hall of Fame.
the M jacket from Michael Jackson. They one with the M on it. That
Hmm.
that 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 freaking high school jacket,
When he
that
did
athletic jacket.
Thriller with the and he was did the Teen Wolf.
Walks through the
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, that's probably like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But if somebody have that, I could see people wanting to pay for that type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, I could see.
Well,
But nobody, ain't nobody lit like MJ like that.
no, ain't
Like
nobody
that's
paying.
why that's
Ain't
why I
nobody
always say
paying that much
MJ is
for.
the biggest. He was the biggest because
Ain't
like
nobody
who else?
paying that much for a Justin Bieber or Usher jacket or a damn fucking Cisco chain. You know what I mean?
Chris Brown, like nobody.
Ain't nobody paying.
C.Breezy,
Yeah,
nobody. Like
yeah. Ain't nobody
C.Breezy
paying
don't
that
have
much.
an outfit that somebody would want
No.
to have in a case in their house. Like, do you know that is jacket, the jacket that Mike Jackson
He ain't
wore
he and
in?
he ain't and he ain't old enough. He ain't got enough. He ain't old enough. He got enough material. He just ain't old enough as far as like longevity wise.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
true.
mean? Michael Jackson performed since he was like 6 years old in the Jackson 5. So shit. People have been
Yeah,
watching him since he was 6 years old. You know what I mean? Not
yeah,
13 or 14, 14, 15 years old.
that's real true.
He got a lot more
Because that's a lot of
longevity in the
generations when you
game.
5 years old singing, and then you
Shit.
45 years old still singing. Like you
And
done
then,
caught
yeah, then
four
you went from
generations of people.
a group, and then you went, let's see, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You went 3 decades in the
In
Jackson
the
5, or at
90s,
least
in
till.
the 90s, in the 90s.
I'm, I'm talking about
You don't remember
Jackson
the
5, at
time?
least.
You don't remember the
No, I'm talking.
time?
No, no, no. I'm talking about Michael Jackson did almost 3 decades with just his brother, and then he started his solo stuff in 81 or 79 at the end of 70s, started,
Oh
Off the
yeah,
Wall, and then, Billie Jean, and then, you know what I mean?
yeah.
He was still kind of doing stuff in the early, I think his last album with the Jackson 5 was Victory, and that was like early 81, but he had just released, I think, Billie Jean at the time too. So he
You
was
see
kind of
what I'm
like in the mix.
saying? So it's like through the whole
He went through three
70s,
decades of
80s,
family. Yeah. No,
90s,
60s,
with
70s,
60s too.
80s. So
60s,
he went
70s,
like
80s,
20.
90s. That's four.
Well, I'm
That's
talking what you
four.
mean I'm talking about with the Jackson 5.
No, no, we stopped in the 80s. We stopped in 80 with the
Right.
Jackson
So he
5.
did almost 25 years with just his family, then his solo shit.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why you get four whole decades. You get 40 years, 60s, 70s, 80s,
Oh,
and
I
90s.
know. Right? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, yeah, Mike is a hard act to follow.
Oh, ain't nobody following him. Usher can't even follow that, man. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I think everybody can just pay homage, man.
That's it. Like I said, ain't nobody paying no damn millions of dollars for Cisco's Dragon chain. Or
for
his freaking
the
dragon guitar. You know what I mean?
for his
His
dragon
electric
guitar,
guitar.
right?
He
If he
don't know how
could
to play that thing.
if he could put in the Hall of Fame though, one day maybe I don't know.
I mean, now like LL Cool J, if he had like his first boombox off of his first album that he had, now that might be worth some cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Or
first.
even his you know, one of them sweatsuit jackets or something like that. He
Oh,
had with
even that hat,
the
one of them
bucket hat.
tango hats.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of the buckets or something like. Yeah, you know, the Run DMC sweatsuits. The Rock and Roll Hall
Oh,
of
yeah.
Fame has to have that.
Yeah.
Even the original Adidas that they had, like with no shoestrings, you know.
Yeah.
So like, you know, those things, yeah. But I mean, even if you even if you were an art collector and you could get some of those things, that's the stuff that I'm like, yeah, it'll be worth owning. That's the stuff would be worth having. You know?
Well, since we're still over in Europe and overseas, we'll jump onto this next subject. I know we have some footage. Denzel Washington, one of the most poised and I guess you could say composed actors of our time, obviously went off in Cannes, France, which is down by the French Riviera. It appears, I guess, a photographer was trying to position him for a photograph on the red carpet for one of Spike Lee's movie premieres. And if you would, Pearl, if we could bring up some of this footage, it looks like the response was not well received by, you know, Denzel Washington being grabbed on by paparazzi.
Look at Denzel look right there. He got his eyes closed. He like
He looked like Jello pudding pop face, like Bill Cosby.
he looked like you're being disrespectful.
Yep.
And, and I'm trying to keep my
he put
cool.
that. It looks like he's putting that finger up in that face.
You know,
In the nose.
this shit crazy. They fucking with Denzel, man, because he getting celebrated.
Denzel Washington's reps have addressed the heated exchange between the actor and a photographer at the Cannes Film Festival.
Hold up, you see that right there? You see a little swim move Denzel put on? See the little swim move? He could have popped the shit out of him if he would have.
Between the actor and a photographer at the Cannes Film Festival. On May 19th, the 70 have addressed the heated exchange. Washington's reps have addressed the heated exchange between the actor and reps have addressed.
See that right there? See how he looking at him? See how he looking at him right there? See, watch the move.
Reps have addressed the heated exchange between reps have addressed the heated exchange between the actor and a photographer at the Cannes Film Festival. On May 19th, the 70-year-old walked alongside director Spike Lee and co-star A$AP Rocky on the red carpet for the premiere of their new film, Highest to Lowest. Denzel began a conversation with A$AP before he was seen walking in the direction of a photographer who was trying to get his attention. The photographer appears to grab Denzel's arm, prompting him to yank his arm away and points directly in his face, while repeatedly saying, "Stop it," before walking back toward his cast members. And in a May 20th statement to E! News, the rep says, "It was a great evening." Inside the theater, Denzel was celebrated for his role in the film, which reunited him with Spike for the first time in 20 years. Denzel walking back toward his cast members. And in a May 20th statement to E! News, the rep says, "It was a great evening." Inside the theater, Denzel was celebrated for his role in the film, which reunited him with Spike for the first time in 20 years. Denzel was overcome with emotion, as Spike, who previously worked with him on the films Mo Better Blues, Malcolm X, He Got Game, and Inside Man, presented him with an honorary Palme d'Or. The award, which means Golden Palm in English, is the highest honor presented at the Cannes Film Festival. It is given to the best film in the official competition. The trophy itself is a handcrafted jewelry piece made of 24-karat gold.
And we gotta salute Denzel, because that's what he did. He kept the peace.
Yeah, man.
And he was getting celebrated. That's what they was trying to.
He said, "Stop it. Stop it." He was telling that dude to stop.
That's all. And he was getting celebrated with some 24-karat magic in the air.
Stop it, man. Yeah, shout out to Denzel Washington, but he had to get gangster. He was doing a training day on him.
Working with
Oh
now, Buddy
man.
was trying to encroach, man. You know how people be trying to
But
antagonize.
the thing is what I hear is the paparazzi over in Europe, they don't respect people and they just be from what I gathered, he was trying to position, they do that, try to position people. I heard somebody else that went off one time too. That wanted, you know what, Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland went off on one of them because I guess one of the photographers stepped on her dress at one of the Cannes film festivals. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
Denzel
paparazzi
got the
don't give a
moves
damn.
though. Don't think he ain't sharp. Cause see, he didn't swing down. He swam out. Cause when he swam out, that opened him up. And he could have just came
Well,
back in
somebody
with.
said that was, she was trying to do one of them equalizer moves off his movie on him.
I don't know, but don't think he old, and don't think he ain't sharp. You
Right?
know. So shout out to Denzel, man, getting celebrated in the Cannes Music Festival with another brother that I admire in this whole film and production world, Spike Lee,
Yep.
you know, and they've been
Do the
putting in
right
work
thing.
for years and years and years, and they got to reunite at the film festival
Mm-hmm.
and do something for the and shine for the culture. So shout out to them, man. Denzel and Spike Lee. Spike, I don't know if the Knicks gonna get past Indiana, but I know I know I know New York is winning right now with that
How
with
about
that
that?
move.
How about that OKC Thunder?
Oh yeah, I mean that's who I'm thinking is gonna take the whole kid and
Mm,
caboodle. I'm thinking they gonna do the whole thing.
the Thunder.
You know, y'all boy, your squad. So yeah, but Denzel and Canes, man, that was cool. And you know what, that right there, like the way we titled it to me was better than what brought us to the actual to acknowledging what was going on, because all the other titles was like how like when we was doing the research for the show, all the things was like paparazzi, Denzel have to smack the shit out the paparazzi, or Denzel harassed, or some wild shit. It was just like my man was getting celebrated. Like that took away from that one little thing right there, took away from the fact that he was getting honored and celebrated.
Yeah, man.
So that,
Everybody agreed that his reaction was warranted. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing. Yeah, he had
yeah, and it was
a re.
cool. It wasn't nothing. Dude grabbed him. He tried to grab him. He was clearly
Yeah,
walking away. And having a few words is different than trying to, bogart somebody's space, or try to grab them or push something in their face, like. And if you turn and walk away, like that's like leave me alone, man. Like I ain't dealing with that. But you want to force your way into the situation, you know,
is there?
could mess around and get hit, like you know. But he kept it peaceful though, you know. And shout out to Denzel. That was dope. The
That's
whole
what's up,
getting
man.
the 24 karat jewelry and everything that they give him and all that. They give him something of value, something that'll be um 10
Yeah.
years, 20 years from now.
Well, my
Yeah.
wife, she won a award with FedEx, or earned an award, and that's where they had her award ceremony. Was at the same place at that facility, the film festival with the red carpet and everything. FedEx paid for that. It was nice. It's nice up in there.
in France.
Yes, sir.
Oh man,
Yeah, yeah.
you went over
2019.
there. You went over
Yeah,
there.
yes,
Oh
sir.
man,
That's where wherever Denzel was at, I've been there. That's where
you've
they
been
had
there.
her
Yeah,
ceremony. That's where they had their ceremony at. Yeah, on the red carpet, man. I got to walk that red carpet like I was a star, man.
yeah. That's fly. That's super
Yeah,
fly.
it was red. It's red carpet all the way up that thing too. Yeah, it was nice. It's like
Okay.
Beverly Hills. I mean, right next to the back of that theater is a Mediterranean. It's right there. You know what I mean? It's nice. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to something more controversial, and I think we do have a longer video. Uh, Day 6, May 19th, marks day 6 of testimony with P. Diddy, Combs trial. Um, so apparently, I guess 3 witnesses testified on May 19th um, in P. Diddy's federal criminal trial. And the jury heard from looks like a Don Richard, a former member of the musical group Danity Kane, if you remember them, who says she frequently saw Combs be violent toward Cassie. Carrie Morgan, Ventura's ex-best friend, said their friendship ended when Combs assaulted her in 2018. And then David James, a former assistant to P. Diddy, began testifying and were returned to the stand. Looks like he returned to the stand on, what was that? Today is the 21st. So I guess he was on the stand yesterday. So if you could bring up this footage, it's in regards to Diddy's trial and how racketeering conspiracy charge could play out.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yep, that's it.
To connect the dots between Diddy's business and his alleged abuse of Cassie Ventura and another victim. How? By using witnesses to try to link Diddy to firearms, cash, and control. We heard from a male escort who said Diddy controlled everything about the freak-offs with Cassie. And Cassie's mother, she also took the stand, testifying about taking a home equity loan out to wire Diddy $20,000. Now, the last witness on the stand today, he tied Diddy to.
Hold up, just to say we gotta break some of this wild shit down. Did she just say that Cassie's mom took out a $20,000, well, took out a HELOC on her house to give Puff 20 grand?
Yeah, that's what I just heard.
Why? Why?
Your
See,
guess is better
they
than mine.
put shit out like this, but they don't say why. Like why? And then why would you do that? Why would you hawk your house to give Puff 20 grand?
That's crazy, man.
Some of this shit just sound far fetched. I don't even.
It's not making any sense.
Or was that Diddy being like, I could make her mother give me 20 grand and do some dumb shit, and then somebody I bet you 10 grand I can make her moms do some shit. Like, is this it? I don't understand that. Like, why would she have to do that? With the or what is your daughter owe me some money from a record contract? And if she don't pay
Right.
up, then I mean, is it that? I mean, which one is it? Is it the bet? Or is it a manipulation move or like Cassie owes some money or something? Like which, because that shit just don't even sound right.
I know. It don't make no sense.
It don't make no sense. Like not even in Diddy's defense. It's just like that shit don't even sound right. Her mom took a more.
She's giving up.
For
her
what?
mom's giving up some ransom money.
What is that? 20
I
grand
know, bro.
To Puff.
Don't make no sense.
Like his watch cost. A bracelet costs more than 20 grand.
It don't make no sense, man.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Let's see if we
Pretty
can gather
serious
anything from
weapons.
after this.
Remember that
statement.
2024 raid on his home in Miami Beach? Special agent in charge testified that he found parts of AR-15 rifles in Diddy's master bedroom. He says the serial numbers were also scratched off. Police also found items that others previously testified would be present at freak-offs: high heels, sex toys, baby oil, Astroglide, and lingerie. And speaking of those items, tonight we're seeing images from the first time of what investigators found at the New York hotel where Diddy was arrested last year. They seized, perhaps you guessed it, baby oil, lubricant, drugs, and cash. Now that lines up with what Diddy's former assistant testified to today at trial. Now he said he was tasked with stocking Diddy's hotel room. Perhaps you guessed.
So right there, my man just got some pink coat. Right? I guess that's that Tootsie stuff they talking about, right? Then yeah, right. That's the Tootsie. Okay. But then let's look at this shit. Let's look at this shit. So that's a little so then they said that they found a couple of AR-15s with some serial numbers scraped up. So I'm looking at what they could actually charge him on, right? So somebody else could take the AR-15 charges, but I mean, if he have to take them, okay, with the scratched off serial numbers, as long as there's no bodies on the guns, he'll pretty much that'll be part of time served. All right. Platform high heels is not against the law. Sex toys, they sell them at the gas station, right? Baby oil is not against the law. Astroglide is not against the law, and neither is lingerie. So I'm trying to figure out what of this stuff is criminal. All right, now we got some little pills. Where we seen the little pills at? We seen some little pills, the name scratched off. So having a prescription drug
that looks like Cialis.
that's not yours. Well, that's say amphetamine on there. Aspartame, amphetamine, something. So that's probably some type of Perks or Xans, or I don't know what they call Perks or Xans, but I know it's some pain medication or something like that. So I don't know what that other what's these little pink wrappers. You know,
That
that
looks
look
like
like
some candy from. That looks like candy from the damn hotel.
you know. I don't know what that little gold pack back there. What's that? A honey pack.
VIP honey, VIP honey.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
that
like,
VIP honey. That was it 20 grams.
I don't know, but all this shit
I've
on
seen it. They sell that at the convenience store. You can
that's
buy
what
that at
I'm
the convenience
saying.
store.
All this shit on the right, the Jolly Rancher included, they look like that's some shit he just got stopping at the gas station.
Yeah,
Okay.
including that VIP honey.
That's what I'm talking about. From the gold to the rancher, to the Jolly
Yeah,
Rancher,
man.
to the blue
Everything that's all
raspberry.
from the convenience store.
That's all
Somebody was
from
having sex on a pile of dirty clothes.
okay. And then right here, look, and then okay, he got his little Tootsie. So that's a possession charge right there for that. You know, I don't see no whole bunch of time. I don't see no racketeering and shit.
I don't see no intent to distribute.
I don't see no intent to distribute with none of that. That's all personal use, even them pills. Okay. And then the baby oil. Now is the baby oil spike? Is the baby oil have what's that GHB all in it or whatever? Now they were saying that one time, but I don't hear nobody keep saying that. They're just saying he was caught with a bunch of baby oil. Okay, so
he's like that dude off the Ladies' Man, that wrestler, Will Ferrell. He's like, do you want some? You sure you don't want the oil? Like there was grappling, like it was a grappling session. You know what I mean? Like there was, you know what I mean? Like it was,
it's way too much. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like this don't look like This don't look like
it looks like
racketeering.
like everything that came from the Dollar Tree.
Pretty much.
It
And then he just
looks
stopped
like a
at the
Dollar
gas
Tree
station on the
collection.
way back to the crib to get some woods and some honey packs. So, and some Jolly Ranchers. But this right here, man, I don't know. Like it's this is far away from all of the accusations. The heavy stuff that has been alleged. And then you say cash. Like he's a billionaire, right? So he got some cash.
Yeah.
Now, that lines up with what Diddy's former assistant testified to today at trial. Now, he said he was tasked with stocking Diddy's hotel rooms, but he said he didn't go through the company to get reimbursed for these supplies. Instead, he went to Diddy's security team and claimed that they would pay him back in cash from the rapper's Louis Vuitton bag. He also testified that the bag could hold $10,000 or more in cash, telling the court, I just think because they were items that he didn't want to have a record for. Now, one of today's other witnesses was a male escort known as the Punisher, a nickname he says comes from his basketball playing days. He took part in Diddy's freak offs with Cassie as well. And he said Diddy would direct all aspects of those encounters. The escort testified, quote, Diddy would at some point come into the room, sit in the distance, give subtle directions to Miss Ventura based on, like I said, angles and lighting, positioning, and sometimes the sexual activity. We also heard from Cassie's mother, who testified about a payment that she wired to Diddy after Cassie told her that he was threatening to release 2 sex tapes. Cassie's mom said Diddy asked her for money around that same time to, quote, recoup money that he had spent on her daughter. The prosecutor asked, quote, why did you go to the bank and take out a $20,000 loan? Cassie's mom said, I was scared for my daughter's safety. She was asked what she needed $20,000 for, and she said to pay Sean Combs. And when she was asked why she needed to pay Sean Combs, she testified because he demanded it. Now, the prosecution made a bombshell reveal over who we can expect to testify this week. They plan to call Scott Muscuddy. You know him as Kid Cudi. Remember, Cassie testified.
Scott Muscuddy, known as Kid Cudi,
From Cleveland.
he's he's stepping up to the mic next.
Yeah. He's from Cleveland. He's from the land.
So I wonder what that does, though. I wonder what that does. Because so far, all we heard from Kid Cudi is that Diddy hung him over a balcony and blew his car up or something. Or he hung Wale over a balcony. Is Wale gonna testify too? I got hung over the balcony.
Muscuddy sounds like a European name. Or, yeah, somewhere in Europe.
Muscuddy. I don't know. I know brothers named Scotty. I know a bunch of good brothers named Scotty.
Well, I'm talking Muscuddy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this is crazy though, because Kid Cudi's gonna testify. That's crazy,
right?
Diddy got irate when he.
Would you wonder?
I wonder if they're gonna bring up that big old security guard that used to run. Security for Puff Daddy back in the day. He lives in Jersey. I actually ran into him. He's always on freaking Vlad TV. And
oh, you talking about Gene Deal?
Yeah, I ran into Gene Deal when I went to go visit my sister one time last year.
Oh, wow.
He's a very tall individual, about the size of Suge Knight.
Yeah, Big Gene. But yeah, I don't know. He might. I mean, he been saying a lot online anyway. I think all they need to do is just play all the shit he been saying online. He don't even need to go up in there.
Yeah, right.
For real. Because a lot of these people they haven't been speaking publicly.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what I understand about Kid Cudi even Cassie's mother, even Cassie mama, Cassie herself, even the Dawn, the girl from Diddy Kane, what's her name, Dawn Richardson.
Cassie's prego, so I don't know if she wants to be up in there or stressing herself out. You know what I mean?
I mean, would they already had her up in there? I think she's done. She don't have to testify anymore. But I mean, I would hope not, man. I don't even know why they had her come in there being 8 months pregnant. They could have been like, damn, let me at least let you have a baby
man.
so the stress ain't on you, coming in there doing all that.
I know,
But,
man.
He found out she was dating Kid Cudi. The prosecution also plans to call a clinical psychologist as well as a former Diddy employee who quit, apparently, after allegedly witnessing physical abuse. Get right to CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister, who saw all the testimony in the courtroom today and has been following so closely. The assistant, the former one, David James, took the stand today about an incident that could have actually turned tragic, and it involved a rival of Diddy, Suge Knight. Describe.
Yes. So with putting this witness on the stand, it appears that the prosecutors are really trying to get into this racketeering claim, showing that they allege Diddy was running this criminal enterprise through his businesses. So this former personal assistant, he worked for Diddy from 2007 through 2009. He was hired by Bad Boy, so an employee of that company, of course, the company that Diddy was the head of. Now, this instance that you brought up, he told this story to the jury, which was after a late night recording session in the studio. It was about 3 or 4 a.m. and Diddy said he wanted some late night food from Mel's Diner, a famous place in Los Angeles. So they go to Mel's Diner. It's the assistant and one of Diddy's security personnel who they called D-Rock. They get there and they see Suge Knight. As you said, Suge Knight, of course, is a longtime rival of Diddy. Well, they go back to Diddy's home in the Hollywood Hills. This is when the personal assistant said he actually saw Cassie outside the home fighting with Diddy, arguing, basically pleading for him not to go. But Diddy wanted to go. So according to this former assistant, Diddy said, "We're taking this car, drive the car." They get in the car. The assistant says he turns around, looks in the back seat, and Diddy has 3 handguns on his lap. That is what he testified today. They go back to the diner. Suge Knight is no longer there, but he said that Diddy was demanding, yelling at him, saying, "Keep driving around." He wanted to find him. Now, again, nothing happened because he wasn't there, but here's what the assistant said on the stand. Quote, "I was really shook up by it. This was the first time being Mr. Combs' assistant that I realized that my life was in danger." He said that right after that, he actually put in his notice at the company.
He stayed for about 6 more months to try to train his replacement, but that was really the end for him of why he wanted to work there.
Puff was faking jacks. He wasn't looking for Suge for real. Come on now. They went back to the restaurant. He was gone. Now,
bullshit.
Yeah, because why he didn't have it on him already?
He had to go back and go get it. Come on, bro.
If and this is what I be talking about, like these fake tough guys, fake tough people. Like, if you looking for a fight, then you got it on you. Like, people walk around with you looking for a fight.
Yeah.
People would say like, "Nah, I ain't looking for no fight. I'm just you." Then why you got a gun on you?
And on top of that, why in the hell would he be busting caps, knowing Suge Knight's a blood, and they would track that ass down?
I mean, regardless of what side he on, blood, Crips, whatever.
I'm just saying, why would you go to LA knowing he's got gang affiliation? You gonna go to LA trying to bust caps on a big ass?
Why you going out looking for trouble, and you not protected already, and you don't have security, or you don't have? If you feel like you need to move like that, pardon me, and you got the protection, and you got the money, and you could do it, then why not be moving like that already?
Yep.
Why not? It don't make sense.
Definitely sounds far-fetched.
And once again, this is another story that nothing happened. So this
Yeah,
assistant is sharing a story of a almost. Almost don't count for shit because it never happened.
exactly. That's kind of like if you fucking say you got ADHD, but you ain't get no diagnosis from a doctor, then you ain't got it. You know what I mean?
Cause yeah, something like that for real. But
No, if
come
you
on.
can't self-diagnose yourself, okay?
I mean, somebody might know what they got. They might know. They might know who
No,
they
you ain't no
got.
damn professional. You ain't no medical professional. That's like me telling you you got something and I don't know, and I ain't no damn doctor. You know what I mean? I ain't no medical professional. I could be like, I think you got the HIV because you coughing, but you, how I know that?
But that's nah. That's extreme though. But like I could, if you got stung by a bee and you come in the house and I'd be like, yeah, I think you got stung by a bee, right?
That's different.
No, it's
Yeah,
not. That's taking
that's
medical
that.
advice, right? Because you could have
That ain't
got
no
bit.
medical diagnosis. Yeah, I mean,
It might
shit. I
it,
could say
it might have been a wasp. It might not have been a bee. It might have been a hornet. No,
you
that's not
talking
a
about.
bee sting. That's a hornet sting. That's not a hornet sting. That's a wasp. So no, you got bit by a spider. You feel me? So
Yeah,
like, come on, family. Like,
still.
nah, man. That shit right there, man. This shit is made up. I agree with you on that. This shit is made up.
Hell
Like,
yeah, it's
this
some
some
bullshit.
almost. This ain't on.
This
This
is some.
ain't
I
no
want to be in the
facts.
limelight. This is. I want some.
Yeah,
This
like
is. I'm putting myself on the map and letting people know I used to be his assistant.
that's it. And I mean, he probably
It's
did.
he's
He
clout
went to
chasing.
go buy drugs. Like, look what he said. He said he went to go buy drugs, right? And he said he never received money to go buy the drugs. Okay,
So I mean, in theory, he
so he
bought the
went and
shit.
bought them on his own, and then he went to the security who would pay him, who would reimburse him for the drugs, right? Where did Puff buy some drugs, ask dude what drugs to get, even give him some money for the drugs? Like, he didn't ask dude for the no drugs. He didn't tell him what to get. He didn't even pay him for the shit. So like, and he's admitting, and he already admitted, he openly admitted and said, I never received money to go and purchase the drugs initially. He said that I never received money to go and purchase the drugs initially. I got reimbursed through the security. And then he says, out of this bag that they had, that they alleging was Puff's bag because it was a bag with bag with money.
Mm-hmm.
I bet somebody, I made a bet that Puff will walk on time serve. I'm thinking right now it's their case looking weak. I'm thinking that I may win my bet.
Yeah,
Right now it's looking very weak. It's looking real weak.
it don't look right.
There, that wasn't the only witness today, though. We actually heard from Cassie Ventura's mom, which the defense didn't want to hear from. And a lot of people thought, I wonder why she's testifying. Would it be gratuitous in some way? Would she move the needle in either direction? But she talked about being scared for her daughter's safety and this $20,000 loan. What happened?
So let me get to that in a second. But first, I want to read you an email that was shown to the jury as an exhibit in court. This is an email that Cassie sent to her mother and Capricorn Clark, who was one of Diddy's employees.
Under an alias, right?
Under an alias. And yes, here's what she wrote. The threats that have been made towards me by Sean Puffy Combs are that he is going to release 2 explicit sex tapes of me. One on
Stop this shit. This is something they say under from Veronica Bang. Stop this shit, man. I'm not even in defense of Puff though. But come on, just entertain. Veronica Bang. Look how they doing. Look how this shit is like the circus. I'm starting to think, man.
Damn, that motherfucking phone says 3G on it. What the hell? Oh shit, 2011. Shit.
It's 2011 from Veronica Bang.
Bang, 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 bang.
The threats that have been made towards me by Puff are that he's going to release 2 sex tapes of me, one on Christmas, maybe, or right after one, sometime after that. He also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Kid Cudi physically. He actually said he'd be out of the country when it happened. Well, if she was doing all that stuff that everybody's now is even the escorts who she done had the stuff done with are coming forward and stuff like that, I can see how it is possible that Puff had explicit sex tapes. If Kid Cudi is about to come and testify, then I can see it's possible that he said that he would have somebody hurt, both of them, in a jealous rage. But an alias text from Veronica Bang, I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know, but they should know if she owned this phone and this number though. So, that's one of them things where it's like it can be validated that she did have the phone and she did,
Yeah.
But this still right here don't say racketeering and drug running. This say jealous boyfriend. This say a little narcissistic, a little bipolar. But this don't say drug dealing, human trafficking. This don't say that.
Christmas Day, maybe before or right after, and another sometime soon after that. He also said that he will be having someone hurt me and Scott Muscuddy, you said, Kid Cudi, physically. He made a point that it wouldn't be by his hands. He actually said he'd be out of the country when it happened. So Cassie's mom testifies on the stand. When she read this email, she was physically ill. And of course she would be. This is her daughter. She's scared for her life. So then she said that Diddy demanded that she pay $20,000, as you said, because he was upset that Cassie was with another man. That would be Kid Cudi. And he said, I spent $20,000 on your daughter, so you better pay it back. Now you have Diddy, who at one point was a billionaire, but at this point at least is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and is allowing the mother of his girlfriend to take out a home equity loan to wire the money. He accepted that money, but then he sent it back. Now I want to bring up one more exhibit. There are photos of Cassie.
He gave the money back
with bruises on her body that were shown to the jury. And Cassie's mom said she's the one who took those photos of her daughter when she visited home for Christmas.
It's pretty unbelievable to think about the dynamic of Sean Diddy Combs asking someone for $20,000. The intimation, of course, that he returned it later on once Diddy and Cassie were back together in some way. What about Kid Cudi? Are we really going to hear him testify?
We are, according to prosecutors. This was, as you said,
Okay, family. Yeah, we done with that.
Yeah, we done, bro.
Yeah, we done with that. Cause all they doing with that is I see what they do. So like they'll go into the topic and then they'll talk about like, the little highlight parts of it, but they won't go down into it, and then they'll switch and jump right back to the other part. So like what they did there, they was just like, oh well, let's play this before, because she asked the question and she didn't even get into it. You know, she like, oh, well, he did the $20,000. She read the whole thing, and then, well, that's what she needed to do with it. Okay, and then what? And then soon as he paid it back, then it was like, okay, well, let's go back to when he beat her up. Like, we already know that he beat her up. Like, that's already, but he's not on trial for beating Cassie up. So it's like they keep trying to rerun the same narratives over and over again. So like you don't forget that part, and then sprinkle in a little bit more of this new shit. I don't know, man. I ain't
They
taking
don't
up for
want.
Puff, man, but I'm just saying, like, I don't see the drug dealing, human traffic. I don't see the drug dealing, human trafficking part yet. Like, I don't see that part yet.
No.
I do see letting your dick make a dummy out you. I do see, you know, having it your way going way too wrong. An abuse of power, an abuse of your freedom, you know, abuse of your positional power. I do see that, but I don't see the human trafficking and the drug and the big time drug dealing. I don't see that.
I'm with you, man.
So I'm just like, if that's the charges that y'all have, you know, then I don't see why they bringing up all this other stuff. Because if he gay, he gay. You know what I'm saying? If that's if that's his sexual preference, then he's entitled to have that. You know. And even after all this, it'll be like, even if he wasn't, and he was into voyeurism, is what they call it, what he's watching, then guess what?
Yeah.
That's not illegal, apparently.
Yeah.
If you got consenting adults and you had and you know, and then you compensate them, so they would have to agree. They would have to consent. That's what consenting is defined as. So, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it as being.
But hey, this trial has more days to go, man. You know,
You know,
it's got more testimony, witnesses. So we'll keep everybody posted as this thing unravels. It sounds like it's a what Donald Trump will call a witch hunt.
a witch hunt. Yeah, it do
A
seem like
witch
that. It's
hunt.
starting in the beginning. Like right now, it's seeming like that. I don't know if that's how it's gonna be. Like when it's all done.
I mean, there's I don't know, man. It sounds like it just sounds like trying to follow the yellow brick road to the Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, dude,
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's gonna be when it's done.
there's
But
not enough substance right now to. He threatened me, and he was going to release. I mean, just to me, it sounds like a lot of hearsay, and I mean, obviously, there's some major points in this case with regard to Puff Daddy's, allegations. But as far as like any meat to any of these allegations, it just sounds like it's, like I said, a witch hunt. All this evidence is like bullshit. It's like shit you can get at the Dollar Tree and the convenience store as at this point, with the exception of the drugs and the prescription drugs. But other than that, everything else is something you could obtain from a convenience store and Dollar Tree. But obviously, like you said, Cassie is not the highlight of this investigation, but they need to get you at the trafficking part. Where's that shit at? Quit fucking pussy. Get to the point. Quit trying to act like all this Jolly Ranchers and all this candy shit from the hotel is going to lead up to fucking the bullshit.
That's what they keep saying.
Who gives a fuck about who gives a fuck about the Astroglide and the sex toys? That's neither here nor there. I mean, shit, if he was a fucking porn producer or damn in porn, I mean, he would have all that shit anyway. So just like, dude, get to the fucking point. Quit fucking bullshit.
But Puff was a porn producer.
Hey, she acted like she was. Here's the thing: If she was fucking held hostage, how the fuck did she obtain attorneys to sue his fucking ass? She just doesn't make any, and then get paid $30 million. Get the fuck up out of here, dude. I was held hostage and I sued his ass for $30 million, and now I'm rich because I went through the bullshit and I did whatever he told me to do. Like, but here's the thing: they got P. Diddy on one person. Not even her. She ain't even. She's just a witness to the acts of indecency or abuse between him and her. But then all these other people just saying they participated or they witnessed it and shit, and that was it. It ain't like I saw him fucking beat the shit out of somebody or do Shannon Sharp choke a bitch. I mean, come on, bro.
You know, how you just throw Shannon Sharp on the bus real quickly.
Hey, you know what? I just saw, and I only said that because Shannon Sharp is a public figure and he's a retired professional athlete, and obviously he's a content creator too. And I saw something last night with Ari Spears on Vlad, which he does frequent his podcast or his show a lot. And he just said that it was kind of funny how Shannon Sharp, threw stones at a glass house at him and wouldn't allow him to come on his show because of some controversy that Ari Spears faced. Now you turn the tables and look who's got some, fucking shit jumping off, some controversy jumping off now. You know what I'm saying? As you just said, it's funny. You wanted to do a virtual.
Funny. He a sucker for that. Ari
Who
Spears is a sucker for that.
Sucker for what?
For taking the time to get clout to punch down, because
he just did it everybody knows
Shannon Sharp. Like everybody knows Shannon Sharp is in a fucked up situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
he just took a dig at him. That's it. He digged on him.
Like, but he got a personal thing with him. Probably because he wouldn't interview him or some shit. You know,
well, he did. Well, Shannon Sharp did want to interview him. He just didn't want to interview him on his show in person. He wanted to do a virtual interview, not in person.
Okay, so there you go. So but Ari Spears had a problem with that because he wanted to come sit on the couch.
Correct. He wanted to meet there in person.
But now he talking down on the man because he's going through some shit. Yeah, that's a sucker move.
He just said that he found it ironic. He just said it was just ironic, you casting stones on me and then look at your ass.
Exactly, that's a sucker move, you know.
Hey, I'm just telling you what I heard.
And those the word. No, I ain't. Hey, you report.
Hey, I'm telling you what I heard, and it was just.
But that's still corny though for him to do that. Ari Spears is corny for doing that, and the reason why is because like he already got a personal thing against him, and it's whack. Like if you could just go on ahead and do the virtual, why not do the virtual? You know, like you trying to do the. He just
felt like it wouldn't given. He didn't say this. I think his feeling is that. It didn't,
He wanted to sit with Shannon and sip some Laportier. You know, he wanted to feel special. And I was like, you ain't in the league with Cat.
It made Ari Spears feel like
Marlon.
It would have been a dumb down.
With Monique. You ain't in the league with those people. You know.
Ari Spears has been around. Hey, we'll back up. Ari Spears has been around quite a long time. I mean, he was on Def Comedy Jam, dude. I mean,
that's true. But is Ari Spears
dude been a comedian since he was 15 years old? So I mean,
but is he in that league though?
I mean, he's been in some movies. He was on Mad TV. I mean,
superstar.
I wouldn't say he's a superstar.
Man. Come on, Justin.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a superstar.
Okay, he's not a superstar.
Is he a funny ass comedian? Yes.
Yes. Is he a very talented comedian? And all that good stuff. Yes. But if the couch and the Laportier reserved for the A-listers, his name start with an A, but he might not be an A-lister.
I mean, is Paul Mooney an A-lister or IP?
I think Paul Mooney would get the couch in Laportier at Club Shay Shay.
I think he would too.
He was a co-writer with Richard Pryor. and on the Chappelle show too. So I mean, stop playing. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but that's not Ari Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think Ari Spears is better than freaking your boy Faison Love.
he's better than a lot of comedians. You know, I ain't gonna.
I'm not saying I condone everything that Ari Spears got into, even with Tiffany Haddish controversy shit. I'm not saying everything he's done has been in good taste, but I do think he's funny.
That's in Shannon
I mean,
Sharp.
I'm not comparing him to Kevin Hart either, because they're just two different comedians.
Hell no. What?
I don't even like Kevin Hart personally. I'm not a Kevin Hart fan.
You don't need no Kevin Hart personally. No, I'm talking shit.
I'm not a Kevin Hart fan.
You don't even know Kevin Hart personally. How you don't like Kevin Hart personally?
I don't, man. I'm a Mike Epps fan, dude. I like
You
Mike
just talking
Epps.
about comedy wise, right?
Oh,
Professional. Yeah. Now we love Mike Epps, man. Mike Epps funny.
Mike Epps is one of my favorite. Actually, he's my favorite comedian. I met him twice. So
the Upshaws is funny. Shout out to that show too. He got my girl on there. I don't even know her name, but they on there.
Hey,
both
they got a Last Friday coming out.
The one from Regine, and he got
what's her name? Fucking
what's my girl? Because her stand up, Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes in there. Yeah, and Wanda funny. Wanda Sykes is hilarious, man. She one of the best female comedians out there, man.
She's hilarious.
You know,
hilarious.
But yeah, that show is cool too. You know, well, they go through stuff on there and they figure it out and they work it out.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, and Mike Epps funny, man. Mike, come on, man. Day.
Yeah, he's my favorite comedian, man. Mike Epps, hands down. Which brings me to my last topic for tonight. Brooklyn Bridge ship crashes into I'm sorry, the Brooklyn Bridge ship is a Mexican ship that there's an investigation underway by federal and local agencies in New York City, and federal officials have begun their investigation into why a Mexican tall ship crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, killing 2 people. We have some video footage, and it's apparently shows a moment that this Mexican ship's mast hit the bridge and snapped with 277 people on board. And there were some sailors that were seen dangling from wires after the mast broke. At least 19 were hurt and 2 were still in critical condition after the accident. Let's take a look at this video, Pearl.
I just want to say, don't try this at home.
That collision happened around 9 o'clock tonight. Information is still coming in at this hour, but here's what we know. A Mexican Navy training ship was sailing on the East River when its mast collided with the Brooklyn Bridge. The boat was packed with passengers at the time of the incident. 19 people are injured, 4 seriously. The bridge is open to traffic. Addie Gajardo is live near the scene at Pier 16 with the very latest. Addie.
Let's watch that one more time.
Navy training ship was sailing on the East River when its mast collided with the Brooklyn Bridge.
Damn.
The boat was packed with passengers at the time of the incident. 19 people are injured, 4 seriously. The bridge is open to traffic. Addie Gajardo is live near the scene at Pier 6.
So this is something that I want to know right here. You see this tug right here?
That's a pilot.
You see this little tug right here?
Yeah.
All right. This little tug is supposed to be aiding them.
Yeah.
Why does this tug not know that their mast is too tall?
Somebody effed up on that.
Not blaming, you know, the navigators of the coxswains. or the captain of the Mexican Navy training ship should know, you know, should be able to gauge that.
The clearance. Yeah, there was no
Right.
clearance.
But why doesn't the tug know this? Why doesn't the tug know? Because this tug goes through here and it aids vessel traffic through here all the time. So this tug should know the clearance of this.
Well, there's probably either a pilot on that ship too. There's a pilot. You know, you pay a lot of money to guide ships through channels. So yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
What you talking about?
Yeah, they call them pilots. They
What
guide
pilot?
ships. No, they're just.
You talking about the captain?
No, it's not. When you on the ship, they have every time you go in a port, they have what they call a pilot. They're like a guide, and it's the pilot of that port. And
okay, bro, let me tell you something. I worked on the river a long time. This right here, whoever's in this small little buoy tender right here, whoever's in this little tub, this buoy tub, right? They are the ones who's supposed to be helping this training ship, this sailboat, have safe passage through here because they are having this is a ceremony, like they lit up, they in dress,
right.
So people are out there on the pier watching this. We do this with the Blue Angels when Blue Angels do their ceremonies and stuff. We the Eagle will come down, like shit like this would never happen on the Eagle.
Right. Again, like I said, they have what they call a pilot of the port. They come on the ship and they're there for safe vessel navigation, guiding ships through harbor, ensuring safe passage. I'm telling you, if a pilot they usually come on the ship.
On what ships though? Like on what ships? Because
all big ass ships coming through the harbor, dude.
Because
they're high.
Because when we transit through, we driving our own stuff. The Coast Guard don't have nobody come on to drive them through
I was
the
on
channel.
a 210-foot cutter. They used to come on, bro. They used to come on ships. So when you go to Boston Harbor, you go into harbors like Chesapeake Bay, all that. They have a pilot come out there. They get paid a lot of money to do that. When you come in a port, they do. They send them out
Bro,
there.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it, bro. I'm telling you.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it.
I've never seen it. And I've never seen that at not one time. Like, now I'm not saying that it don't be somebody to come on board, okay? But what I'm saying is this. I've never seen somebody come on and take the helm and start driving the boat.
They don't drive it. They're just on board, guiding them through the channel. That's
okay. So that's fine. All right. But this right here, clearly, they don't have that.
Nope.
Right? So whoever is supposed to be doing it is probably on this tug right here.
Correct. And it says pilots play a critical role in preventing accidents and ensuring the safety of a vessel, crews, and the environment. And that's what they were supposed to be doing. Apparently, they didn't do their job.
Okay. So whoever is the captain of this vessel, of this Mexican Navy training ship, right? Whoever's the coxswain, the captain, the XO, the people that's responsible for driving this boat, okay, for operating this vessel, they supposed to know it. Fuck a pilot. You supposed to know it.
See, they board. I know you're right. They board and temporarily join this crew to safely guide the ship's passage. So they must also have expertise in handling ships of all types and sizes. They're called maritime pilots. They require license. So
bro, what you doing is placing the blame on somebody else. Like, you not doing that, but you explain.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Being placed on somebody else. I'm saying if you responsible for navigating this ship, then you supposed to know how tall your mast is. You supposed to know how tall the bridge is too. You supposed to be able to, even if you eyeball it.
Remember, Mexicans entering foreign port, so this is foreign to them. So remember that it's foreign.
But height and distance ain't foreign.
No, I'm not distance, height. We
You
don't
know,
care about
90
distance.
feet, 90 feet, 200 feet. That ain't foreign.
Well, apparently they didn't know how tall that damn bridge was, and the pilot didn't in New York City either. Shit.
Okay, so then whoever is in this tug, then
They didn't do they didn't do what they're supposed to do.
they
Either.
ain't do what they were supposed to do.
Both
Whoever
of them didn't.
and whoever in the Mexican Navy, shame on them.
I mean, yeah, they didn't do it, but the thing is, but whoever's in that tug should have prevented that from even happening.
It should have never even happened.
Yeah.
And it's traffic up there. Look at all them red lights up there. Look at all
man.
them brake lights.
Yeah.
That's traffic.
I'm just saying, whoever the pilot, the maritime pilot was on that tug, should have known. Oh, you know what? Hey, man, y'all can't come in here. Y'all gonna have to moor up somewhere else outside this bridge. You can't.
You
go
said
all
it was a pilot on it. Did they say?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know what?
Okay.
Bridge. The boat was packed with passengers at the time of the incident. 19 people are injured, 4 seriously. The bridge is open to traffic. Addie Gajardo is live near the scene at Pier 16 with the very latest. Addie.
Jenna, truly a dramatic scene that unfolded before so many people's eyes out here on Pier 17. Take a look behind me. That boat was completely lit up when it sailed away, only to be now completely dim. There are no lights on the boat behind me. It is very far back there on the corner. This entire area is covered by first responders and personnel, fire trucks and ambulances. Officials say multiple people were transported to the hospital. The extent of those injuries and the exact number of those people that were transported to the hospital right now, that information is unknown. But we do know that it was a Mexican Navy training vessel that crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, and witnesses were here as this all unfolded. Take a look at this very dramatic video right here. It shows the 2 boat masts snapping as the boat collides with the Brooklyn Bridge. Multiple flags, including the American flag, are on that boat, and 2 large Mexican flag. In another video, you can see people scatter as the boat approaches the pier. People I spoke with say that this crash sent people screaming, saying they couldn't believe what they were actually seeing.
I had all the yard arms covered with cadets, I guess, from the boat that were putting on a show. It climbed up the rigging and then spread out on all the masts, all 3 masts. It struck the mast, chopping it off maybe about 20 feet or maybe a little more down.
And all of a sudden we heard tons of screaming coming from this massive crowd that was massed here. And we all got up. Our hearts were skipping a beat because it was just horrible how it sounded. We heard like this wood crunch, which we then stood up from dinner right here and looked at the bridge, and we saw what everybody's already seen happen, which was just horrifying.
But the forward mast couldn't even make it underneath there. That's horrible. That's horrible right there. You gotta unmute yourself.
So the Mexican Navy says ship's pilot in deadly bridge crash was from New York. Official says the ship must be operated by a specialized harbor pilot as an investigation into the crash that killed 2 continues. Mexican Navy has said that the pilot navigating the training ship during its Saturday night crash into the Brooklyn Bridge was New York based. The ship must be controlled by a specialized harbor pilot from New York government. Admiral Raimundo Pedro Morales Angeles said at a press conference. I guess they acknowledged there was not much time for the pilot to react to the situation, possibly as little as 80 to 90 seconds. Like I said, a pilot was present.
A pilot was present.
Yes.
Mm.
The dead were identified as America Sanchez.
Now you said you ain't know, but you just found out though.
That's what I was saying. I figured it was, but
it should be. It should be.
It was.
But now we know it was.
It was.
Right, right.
Let's see. The ship had 277 people on board. New York police said that the ship lost power as it left the harbor for Iceland and was sucked toward the bridge by the current. The ship at the 157-foot tall.
So they didn't even intend to go underneath it.
It said the ship lost power as it left the harbor for Iceland and was sucked toward the bridge by the current.
So the tugs were supposed to tell them they lost power. They ain't had no handheld radios. They ain't had no backup.
I guess the NTSB was unclear as how the police discerned the ship lost power, but said there was no structural integrity concerns related to the Brooklyn Bridge itself.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So they saying that's what happened. The current took the boat, and they had lost power.
Yeah.
So they lost what power? They lost steering power.
Something,
because
rudder power. I mean,
yeah, they lost rudder power or something because they had the generators because the lights was on when they hit the damn thing. So what power did they lose?
Yeah.
We didn't see the lights flash off.
No, I didn't see. Yeah, the power was that on an emergency generator.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But maybe the pilot is saying, "Oh, we lost power." Maybe that's what he's saying. Like, "Oh, we lost power."
Well, prayers go out to the people that were injured and the two that ended up dead.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's crazy, man.
Absolutely, and the people need to get their shit together. That's dangerous, man.
Man.
I could only imagine I can't even imagine no shit like that.
Dangling.
The mishap report, people, and you talking about people up on the mast, you know, because they probably was going to drop the sails or something like that. They probably was doing that manually.
Yep. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible, yep. But like you said, prayers to all them people, prayers go out to, you know, but they need to cut that shit out though. They need to do better than that though. Crashing into the bridges. We just had the Key Bridge down in Maryland. Or up in Maryland or out Maryland, wherever it's at. That got taken out. You know, by a merchant vessel. Yeah. Yeah, you muted.
I said that's all the controversy and news that I have or hot topics for tonight. Like you said, prayers go out to the sailors on board the Mexican Navy ship that was headed to Iceland. And those, like I said, the ones that actually, you know, the two individuals that ended up dead from this incident.
Absolutely. Shout out to Denzel Washington getting celebrated in Canes. Even though he almost had to smack the shit out of somebody. But you know what we said about almost, it don't count for nothing because ain't nothing happened.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
They need to get excited.
Well, we'll make sure we keep our viewers informed with any updated news with regard to Sean Combs, P. Diddy. As the story, or at least the trial, unravels, we will keep everybody posted if you aren't already keeping up with it.
For sure. But if that's all you got, just entertainment, that's all we got for tonight. That's the topics.
That's it, my friend.
Then we will thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. So when we go live, you never miss an episode of Brunch with the Fellas. Have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of your week. I am Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV. Always just getting it right with
Just entertainment.
And we are the Brunch Fellas. And we will see y'all next time, right here on Brunch with the Fellas. Peace, family.
Peace, family.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.